Hello, welcome to our professional development. What I'm going to be going over, this is Mr. Hancock that's speaking. I do a lot of the K-8 over Tremonted, Blended Ed, and Richfield. So what I will be going over in this professional development is basically our SpEd referral flowchart process of what we need you to do in order to get the right data, the right materials that we need so we can make this as smooth a process as possible. We'll also be working with you on this process as well in our bi-weekly meetings that we will have for your campuses, and be able to go over more details of what we can expect for like the RTI process, putting those interventions in place, as well as helping our SpEd students that need help. So the flow chart's going to kind of go like this. So as you come in, you have a student that starts with Athenian. It's the beginning of the school year, or something kind of has prompted a change in the student that you feel something needs to be done. So first one, let's just go right below here. If the student has come in and they're not on our SpEd list, and we'll get everybody the list of students that we have, the IEPs that we have right now. They're still kind of coming in from the new school year, but if they're not showing on this list, however, the parents say that they have a previous IEP, IEP, what we need you to do is please fill out this form, okay? Now, this is interactive, this sheet, and everybody will get this sheet. I'll share it with everybody. If you just click on it, it's going to send you to a form here. And we just need you to fill out this information. And this is so we can request the records from the previous school. Now, if they were homeschooled before or whatever, they're not going to have it. It's going to be the school they went for, or whatever school qualified them last, because those are never given. The official records are never given to the parents. So we need the official file. So you'll just put in student name, grade level, parent's name, parent's phone number, parent's email, the previous school that they're serviced their last IEP, and then any other helpful information that you could give us. Kind of what we're looking for. And so submit that, and that gives us a very good way to be able to track when these files are coming in. We can maybe could fax us a copy so we can start services as soon as possible. So logistically, this is going to be the best way, since all our special education teachers and professionals are kind of spread out with the way our school is set up. So that is if they come in there. Now, something comes in and you have a parent request for testing or for a referral, okay? This needs to be some type of legitimate documentation that they can kind of give us of why we can go directly into testing. So that would be medical documentation. They've been diagnosed with ADHD. They've been diagnosed with autism. There's some kind of medical concern that adversely affects their educational performance. And that's something that's kind of big there. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of things coming in. Not putting anybody like that. My student just can't get out of bed in the morning, that kind of stuff. That's not legitimate to be able to test for special ed. So what we're going to need to do is, if you do not have the appropriate data that we need, and we can do like speech screeners, like hearing screeners and that kind of stuff, but if we don't have the appropriate one, we need you to go back to the RTI process, okay? So before I get down to this last one, because these two lead to the very bottom one, which is how to submit a SpEd referral, what I need you to do is go over here. So the first thing, we want to get some type of data from there. So the iReady is going to be a good benchmark. If you're still doing NWEA, I know some programs are still doing the NWEA, or any other kind of formative assessment that shows academic concerns that we can kind of work with. Once we have that kind of baseline we're looking at, we really need to go into response to intervention. And what we want at least 6 to 8 weeks worth of data. And here's the thing with RTI: if they show progress, we don't need to go directly into testing. That means that what we're doing is working, and we kind of put in that process. So we'll have different processes, and I think this is what Mr. West and Ian and I are going to be doing a lot of, is when we meet on these bi-weekly meetings with you guys, is going over what we can do with specific students. We're going to talk about specific students and what interventions we're doing, and really help everybody out on what we can kind of put in there. Now, if they're not making significant progress in that area, then is the time that we can go in and we can submit a referral. Now, the referral may lead to getting qualified for special education, or it may lead to a 504, or it could lead to, hey, these interventions are working pretty good. We're not going to do anything at all. We're just going to have you keep doing these interventions. So that's what it could lead to. So once you get down to this side, you have the documentation ready, then we can fill out the SpEd referral form. So as I said, this is interactive, so we're just going to click on that and it'll pop up the form, and I'm just going to go over that with you. So this will help us keep track on the back side. So we want student's name, student grade level, the name of the teacher that's referring, the email of the teacher that's referring, the phone number of the teacher referring. Have you spoken yet to the parent that you're submitting a referral to? Sometimes we get to the point where the parents are like, why are you calling me? I never wanted this. So the parent needs to be, or the teacher needs to be in communication with the parent, saying, hey, this is the concern. I've taken this data, and even in the RTI process, making sure that the parent is involved. Then we're going to do the parent's name, parent's email, parent's phone number. Is this a teacher referring or a parent referring? Because that's important to us. Which academic concerns do you have? Okay, so if you have, you can just check all that apply here. If it's math, writing, reading, if there's some behavior and speech, some occupational therapy, if there's some other type of concern, then you list it here. Email the iReady or NWEA reports to sped@aea.rocks, and that's going to come to all of the special ed professionals, Cheryl, Michelle, Ian, and myself. And then also we want to email that 6 weeks worth of RTI, 6 to 8 weeks worth of RTI data in each academic area of concern. And then also email any health reports or medical professional stuff to that if that's applicable. And then if you could briefly describe what the concerns are from there. So just so you know, what would happen after that is we would then hold what's called a data review meeting with the parent, and we'll just kind of go over the data, and then we decide whether we're going to go into testing for special ed, or maybe we're going to look at just a 504 plan with accommodations, or we're going to look at, hey, I think if we do some more RTI, it would be good there. So that is the process that it's kind of going through there. If you would just put in the form that we put in this below, if you have any questions, we're going to just get and take all those questions and do a question and answer and type them out and send them out to you, since this is kind of a virtual PD here. So Thank you for listening, and please let us know if you have any questions.